As soon as we experience a setback, an inconvenience, real pain, and actual suffering in life, our trained automatic response and underlying belief system is to view it as an unwelcome foreign intervention, which holds no place in our lives and must be repelled as soon as possible, so that we can continue on with business as usual. But what if we change our perception and belief system towards events which do enter our lives and which are full of hardship and challenges? How can this change our actual experience? And how can this alter the course of our journey in life? Can a shift in perception actually harness the power to awaken us to our true nature and evoke a natural healing response? I like to say that a wise person is someone who recognizes that life is constant maintenance and full of breakdowns, miscommunications, and unexpected challenges, yet does not act surprised when they arise. This is because the wise person knows they are an integral part of life, which can never be avoided. Challenges, pain, grief, and suffering are just as much a part of our lives as rewards, satisfaction, joy, and feelings of safety and security. What if we realize that these obstacles, disruptions, challenges, pain, grief, and suffering, rather than acting as sinister imposters with zero meaning and zero intention in our life, are actually our greatest teachers, our most precious gifts, and our priceless opportunities, absolutely and purposely intended to provide insight and guidance on our pathway in life. Join me as we uncover a new pathway to freedom in our lives through the practice of radical acceptance, appreciation, and forgiveness. Radical acceptance, appreciation, and forgiveness is a higher state of consciousness where we become aware that every event in our life has intentionally led us exactly and perfectly to the place we are in our life right now. Once we let ourselves go completely into the loving outstretched arms of God and place all our faith in the belief that God has already masterfully and exquisitely crafted our inherent blueprint for realizing our ideal true self, and every single act in our life is all part of this higher plan for reaching our highest potential, we are finally ready to embark upon the most unexpected, unbelievable, and beautiful journey of growth, learning, natural healing, and massive positive transformation in our life. Radical acceptance, appreciation, and forgiveness is a higher spiritual perspective, an approach of deep and profound honor, respect, and reverence for all the unique gifts, the priceless qualities, and the divine attributes God has endowed and blessed each one of us with. Radical acceptance, appreciation, and forgiveness is a higher state of awareness, recognition, and remembrance that God has perfectly planned everything that happens in our lives and will always open new doors of opportunity when we choose to align with the healing light and love of God through healthy and empowering behaviors. I have personally awakened to this higher state and perspective where I am truly grateful for every single event in my life. Even though most people who hear my story would be shocked that I could actually be grateful for all the events, including even the most hellish, debilitating, depressing, painful, anxious, and terrifying times I have endured and suffered through. In fact, I am so radically accepting, appreciative, and forgiving of every single event in my life that if I were given the choice to do it all over again, if it would lead me to where I am in my life right now, I would honestly do it all over again without even a second of hesitation. And trust me, it would not be easy. So why, you may ask, should we ever be so radically accepting, appreciative, and forgiving of every experience, including the negative, horrific, and regretful ones? The answer is because it takes all of our experiences together to weave the great tapestry of our life work of art. All the experiences together to lead us to and make us who we are in this very moment, and all the experiences together to provide us with the priceless opportunities to become the beings God always intended for us to become in our life. I am so radically accepting, appreciative, and forgiving of every single event in my life for the sacred being I have become today, the priceless experiences and opportunities I am so immensely blessed to be a part of, and the sacred mandate and mission God has handed to me. I can honestly say, if my life were to end today, I feel absolutely grateful and satisfied that I have lived my life to my highest potential, fulfilled my inherent blueprint and birthright, and become the being God always intended for me to become. Everything else from today forward is simply adding to the enormous mountain of blessings in my life. This is the state of radical acceptance, appreciation, and forgiveness I want all of you to reclaim in your life. If I can do it, so can you. The classic Bob Marley song entitled "Don't Worry" evokes feelings of instantaneous joy and hope in millions of hearts. With the simple but profound lyrics, "Smile with the rising sun, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright." This song has an incredibly rich dual meaning. It fills us with boundless joy and hope when we are inspired by the purity and alignment of the three little birds who never fail to sing sweet songs of praise and gratitude to God, the great Creator, showing us that we too feel this same eternal connection and infinite life energy source when we are fully aligned with the natural creation. Additionally, the lyrics "Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right" reminds us that no matter how harsh the challenges, how stark the outlook may appear, and how overwhelming the difficulties we encounter in our life journey, there really is no need to worry about any of it, because everything in the natural creation will ultimately return home to God, to the state of pure bliss, balance, health, joy, and empowerment. We are reminded that God always has a greater plan than we can ever see or imagine. God always has our best interests in mind, and God is always working and planning arduously to bring us back to our true essence and our vast treasures of internal harmony, joy, and power we harbor within our sacred body, mind, and soul vessel we have been gifted. What is the ultimate goal of our lives? Why does God grant us this incomprehensible, infinite, eternal, and divine body, mind, heart, and soul vessel, this sacred, precious gift of life, and this rare incarnation upon an unlikely blue planet floating and spinning like a beach ball amidst the vast and endless ocean of this great universe? The true and ultimate goal of our lives is to recognize our inherent birthright, to realize our perfect innate blueprint, to fulfill our greatest potential, and to become the beings we are truly meant to be in life. No matter how hard we may try, none of us can run from our true selves and the ultimate goal of our lives. We have been granted absolute freedom from God to either choose to reclaim our ideal selves and choose to move forward towards the powerful healing light of God, or to turn our back to the light and cower in fear, darkness, depression, and dysfunction. We are given this powerful display of true faith, unconditional love, and absolute freedom by the infinitely magnanimous heart of God. However, despite being handed absolute freedom, stewardship, and responsibility for our rare and priceless sacred body, mind, and soul vessel, we will all have to walk through the flames of our own trial by fire at some point. or at numerous points in our life. This we cannot control. This is the eternal will and the unfathomable nature of God's perfect plan for us. You may chuckle and mumble cynically, well, the rich are never tried, never tested, and never prodded like the rest of us. Oh, yes, they certainly are. Nobody is immune from God's guiding, protecting, immensely compassionate, and all-encompassing hand. Our own trial by fire may be delayed a moment or two by the perpetual illusions of comfort and the ceaseless delusions of convenience. And it may be temporarily held at bay by the false facades and impressive fortifications of majestic man-made castles rising into the skies. But ultimately, every single lost sheep in the flock will be found, rounded up, and corralled by the guiding hand of God. Ultimately, every single deeply loved and perfect child of God will be rudely ripped from the comfort of their soft and silky bedsheets in the darkest hour of the night, shaken awake and shocked out of their false state of complacency, habituation, obsession, and addiction, thrust in front of a massive mirror and a blinding light, searing and peering deep at their chosen course in life, and forced to decide which fork in the pathway ahead they will embark upon. There will be no warning and no exceptions when our time will come for the golden opportunity to awaken to our ultimate meaning and purpose in life. And when this opportunity does arrive, it will come cloaked in the visage of very real pain and the horrifying threat of fear and terror. Our mission is to accept whatever trial is presented to us with open eyes and an appreciative heart. Our mandate is to transmute suffering and pain into true joy, satisfaction, and empowerment, to transmute the loss of our ego into the rebirth of our true meaning and purpose in life, to transmute the death of our old, dysfunctional, and disease-ridden form into the resurrection of our sacred body and soul vessel, and to transmute fear and judgment into unconditional love, radical acceptance, undeniable appreciation, and absolute forgiveness of ourselves and everyone in our lives. God will always provide priceless opportunities in the form of a clear and dramatic fork in the road of our lives, where we must make the decision to either continue down the same dysfunctional pathway of depletion, debilitation, depression, and disempowerment, where we lose all we truly seek and desire in life, or choose a pathway laden with golden pavers, leading to a vast, endless, and beautiful field of true abundance, healing light, vibrancy, vitality, youthful vigor, freedom, and empowerment, where everything is provided for us, everything is perfect, and everything is radically accepted, appreciated, honored, respected, rewarded, and handed out freely. All we need to do is choose the clear pathway laid out in front of us by God, which includes healthy, positive, enriching, and nourishing behaviors, and places us in full alignment with the natural creation and the eternal laws of the universe. If you have fallen out of alignment with the healing light and love of God and your true purpose in life, God will chisel you, mold you, fire you, and refine you until you fully embrace and embody your perfect innate blueprint and priceless inherent birthright. You will be ceaselessly challenged by increasingly powerful trials by fire until you let go of all the semblance of ego attachment. Free yourself from all your undermining, self-sabotaging, and unhealthy behaviors. Release yourself entirely into the loving, outstretched arms of God and emerge from the womb completely renewed and reborn. Even those who are already in full alignment with the healing light and love of God will undergo trials to test the true depths and ferocity of their love, faith, and commitment. For it is only through obstacles, discomfort, and difficulties that the strength of our faith and willpower is truly measured. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next video.